The sound of my expensive heels clicking against marble floors echoed through Anderson Tech's lobby. 3 years ago, I'd been dragged out of this building in tears. Today, I owned it. Employees scurried out of my way, whispering behind their hands. No doubt they remembered that day when the CEO's youngest daughter was publicly humiliated and forced to sign away her shares. "Ms. Miller, your 10 a.m. is waiting in the conference room." My assistant, Jane, fell into step beside me. "They've been here since 8. Of course they had. Desperation does that to people. I paused at my office door, the same office that used to belong to my father. The nameplate now read, Alexandra Miller, Sioux Phoenix Industries, a fitting name for a company that rose from the ashes of their mistakes. "How do they look?" I asked Jane. Nervous. "Mr. Anderson, your brother Michael hasn't stopped checking his phone. And your mother, let me guess, she's reapplying her makeup every 5 minutes?" Jane nodded. Standard stress behaviors for the Anderson family. I'd grown up watching their tells. "Have they seen the numbers?" "Yes, the bankruptcy filing is complete. Anderson Tech's value has dropped 97% in the last quarter." I smoothed down my black Armani suit, a far cry from the bargain store clothes I'd worn when they kicked me out. Let them wait another 10 minutes. Inside my office, I took a moment to center myself. The wall-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city, including the building where I'd started Phoenix Industries from a tiny rented office. Back then, I could barely afford coffee, let alone an Armani suit. The memory of that day, 3 years ago, surfaced unbidden. "You're too stupid to run a business." Dad's face had been purple with rage. "Sign the papers, Alex. You're embarrassing yourself." I tried to explain my ideas for modernizing the company, for developing new technology that could revolutionize the industry. But Michael, my older brother and Dad's golden child, had laughed. "Leave the business to people who understand it, little sister. Go start a boutique or something." So I signed. They gave $50,000 for my shares, a fraction of their worth, and ordered security to escort me out. That night, I'd sat in my apartment, surrounded by my business plans and technical designs. They thought I was stupid. Fine, I'd show them exactly how stupid I wasn't. The intercom buzzed. "Ms. Miller, it's been 10 minutes. I picked up the financial reports from my desk, the final nail in Anderson Tech's coffin. "Send them in." They filed in like chastened schoolchildren. Dad's custom suits now looked worn at the edges. Michael's Rolex was conspicuously absent. Mom's designer outfit was last season's, something she would have never been caught dead in before. "Alexandra?" Mom stepped forward, arms outstretched for a hug. I stayed behind my desk. "Please sit." I gestured to the chairs. "I assume you've reviewed the bankruptcy documents." Dad cleared his throat. "Alex, honey, about that, we've been thinking." "That's new." I cut him off. "Thinking wasn't your strong suit when you forced me out." Michael shifted uncomfortably. "Look, we made mistakes, Mistakes?" I pulled up the company financials on the wall screen. "Let's review those mistakes, shall we?" "First, you rejected my proposal for AI-driven manufacturing processes. Then you invested millions in outdated technology. When your biggest clients started leaving, you borrowed against company assets. Now you're $50 million in debt. Your stock is worthless, and your competitors are circling like vultures." "We know we messed up," Michael said quietly. "That's why we're here." I leaned back in my chair, Dad's old chair. "You're here because Phoenix Industries just bought controlling interest in Anderson Tech's remaining patents. You're here because every other company in the industry has rejected your resumes. You're here because you have nowhere else to go." Mom dabbed at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "We're still family, Alexandra." "Family," I laughed. "Was I family when you watched Dad force me out? When you hold your friends I had a mental breakdown to explain my absence from society events?" I stood up and walked to the windows, looking out at my empire. Phoenix Industries had grown from a one-woman startup to a technology powerhouse in 3 years. The same 3 years they'd spent running Anderson Tech into the ground. The company I built? I turned back to them. It's built on the exact innovations you called stupid. That AI system you rejected? It's now worth billions. Those manufacturing processes you mocked? They've revolutionized the industry. Dad's face had gone pale. We didn't understand Dash. No, you didn't. And now you're here, begging for jobs from the daughter you called too stupid to run a business. The silence in the room was deafening. Through the glass walls, I could see employees trying not to stare at the fallen Anderson family. So, Michael finally spoke. Will you help us? I picked up 3 folders from my desk. That depends. Are you ready to learn exactly how stupid your little sister is? I slid the 3 folders across my desk, watching as they hesitantly reached for them. Inside each was a job offer. Not the executive positions they were undoubtedly expecting, but something far more educational. Entry-level positions. Dad sputtered, his face reddening. This is a joke, right? Do I look like I'm joking? I pressed a button on my desk, and the wall screen displayed their new roles. Dad, you'll be a production line supervisor. Michael, junior software developer. Mom, customer service representative. Customer service? Mom's perfectly manicured hand flew to her throat. But I've never worked a day in my life. Exactly. Time to learn what real work feels like.
Michael flipped through his contract, his jaw tightening. These salaries, they're barely above minimum wage. Actually, they're quite generous for entry-level positions. Of course, there's room for advancement based on merit, not family names.
Now see here.
Dad stood up, trying to summon his old authoritative tone.
I have 30 years of executive experience, Dash.
No, I cut him off.
You have 30 years of running a company into the ground. Your experience taught you to reject innovation, ignore market trends, and prioritize golf meetings over actual business development. That's not experience I value.
He sank back into his chair, deflated.
The orientation session starts Monday at 8 a.m., I continued. You'll be joining 20 other new hires. I suggest you all buy some comfortable shoes. Those Italian leather loafers won't work well on the production floor.
Alexandra, please.
Mom's voice quivered.
We've lost everything. The house, the cars, our social standing.
Good. I stood up and walked to the window, remembering the tiny studio apartment I'd lived in after they kicked me out. Now, you can earn everything back. Just like I did. The intercom buzzed.
Ms. Miller, the board members are here for the quarterly review.
Send them in. The doors opened, and 12 board members filed in, including several who had sided with my father when he forced me out. Their faces showed varying degrees of discomfort as they noticed the Anderson family sitting there like chastened children.
You stayed you. They stayed you.
Perfect timing.
I smiled. I was just explaining to my family our new employee integration program. Harrison Wells, the board chairman who had once dismissed my ideas as cute, cleared his throat. Alexandra, quarterly numbers are beyond expectations. The AI manufacturing system you developed has increased productivity by 300%, the same system they called stupid.
I noted, watching my father wince.
Speaking of which, let's review the acquisition of Anderson Tech's patents.
I pulled up a new presentation showing exactly how I'd systematically bought up their intellectual property through shell companies over the past year, waiting for their inevitable bankruptcy. As you can see, I gestured to the screen. We acquired their entire patent portfolio for roughly the same amount they paid me for my years ago. Poetic, isn't it?
Michael's face had gone pale. You planned this?
Oh, brother dear. I planned everything. I clicked to the next slide. While you were busy running the company on outdated methodologies, I was building something better. Every client you lost, they came to me. Every investor who pulled out, they funded Phoenix. Even your old country club membership. Guess who owns the club now? The board members shifted uncomfortably as I continued my presentation. The numbers were staggering. Phoenix Industries had grown 1,000% year over year, while Anderson Tech had declined at almost the same rate. Now, I turn back to my family about those job offers. You have until tomorrow morning to decide. After that, the positions go to more qualified candidates. More qualified? Dad's voice cracked. Who could be more qualified than us? Anyone who's willing to learn instead of assuming they know everything. I pressed another button and security appeared at the door. Think it over, carefully. As they were escorted out, Mom turned back. Alexandra, I'm sorry. We all are. Sorry you lost everything, or sorry you underestimated me. She had no answer. After they left, Harrison approached my desk. That was harsh. No, Harrison. Harsh was being told I was too stupid to understand business. Harsh was being humiliated in front of the entire company. This? I gestured to the financial reports. This is just good business. I sat back in my chair, remembering all the nights I'd worked until dawn, building Phoenix while they thought I was wallowing in failure. Send out the press release, I told Jane. Phoenix Industries acquires Anderson Tech's remaining assets. And Jane, make sure to use that photo of me they hated, the one where I'm wearing jeans in the server room. Jane smiled. Already done, Miss Miller. And your next appointment is here, the delegation from Silicon Valley who want to discuss implementing your AI system. I stood up, straightening my suit. Perfect. Time to show them what stupid looks like. Monday morning arrived with a torrential downpour, fitting weather for the Andersons' first day as entry-level employees. I watched from my office as they arrived, huddled under department store umbrellas instead of their usual chauffeur-driven cars. The new employee orientation is starting, Jane reported, hiding a smile. Your father already tried to take charge of the session. Linda from HR shut him down pretty quickly. I pulled up the security feed. Dad sat in the back row of the training room, arms crossed, while Michael stared blankly at his orientation packet. Mom kept touching her hair nervously, obviously uncomfortable in her off-the-rack business casual attire. How long until one of them breaks? Jane asked. Mom won't last through customer service training. Michael will crack when he sees the actual coding requirements. Dad, I paused, studying his face. He might surprise us. By lunchtime, I had my first resignation. Mom stormed into my office, tears streaking her makeup. I can't do this, Alexandra. That horrible woman made me practice handling customer complaints. Me. I used to chair charity galas. I didn't look up from my computer. Used to is the operative phrase. The position is available until 5 p.m. today. After that, you're on your own. But where will I go? What will I do? Now, I did look up. The same questions I asked myself 3 years ago. Funny how life works out, isn't it? She left in tears. One down. Michael lasted until 3 p.m. He burst into my office without knocking, his face red with frustration. This is impossible. The coding test. It's like reading hieroglyphics. Actually, I swiveled my monitor to show him. It's basic Python, the same programming language I tried to explain to you 3 years ago when I proposed modernizing our systems. But I can't. I don't. Can't understand it. Don't want to learn. I finished for him. That's exactly what you told me about my ideas, remember? Right before you convinced Dad to force me out. He slumped into a chair. I was wrong, okay? Is that what you want to hear? No, Michael. I want you to feel what I felt. The frustration of not being given a chance. The humiliation of being dismissed without consideration. I turned back to my work. You have 2 hours to decide if you're willing to learn, or if you'd prefer to join Mom in unemployment. He left without another word. 2 down. But Dad. Nid. Dad surprised me. At 5 p.m., Jane brought me his first day evaluation from the production floor supervisor. He'd stayed the entire shift, learned the basic operations, and even offered some useful suggestions for improving workflow efficiency. Nid. He's still here, Jane said, asked if he could observe the night shift. I found him on the production floor, his expensive suit covered by standard work overalls, watching the AI-driven assembly system I'd designed.
No, Kai.
It's remarkable, he said without turning around. Ned Jane of human expertise with artificial intelligence. This is what you were trying to tell us, wasn't it? 3 years too late, but yes. He nodded slowly. Ned, I've been watching it all day. The system doesn't just automate. It learns, adapts, improves, like you did. Ned. Dad dash. No, let me finish. He turned to face me, and I saw something I'd never seen before.
No, Kai.
Ned, respect. I was wrong, Alexandra. Not just about the technology, but about you. Ned, I was so convinced I knew best that I couldn't see what was right in front of me. And now. He gestured to the production line. Now I'm starting over. Learning from the ground up. Ned, if you'll let me. I studied him carefully. The position requires a full commitment. No shortcuts, no special treatment.
No, Kai.
I know. I've already signed up for night classes in industrial automation.
No, Kai. No, Kai.
Nud, he smiled slightly. The instructor is younger than you. Another lesson in humility. Nud. 2 weeks later, I called a board meeting. The room was packed. Executives, investors, and media representatives, all waiting to hear Phoenix Industries' latest announcement. Ned. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, I'm pleased to introduce our new Director of Production Integration. Dad walked in, still wearing his work overalls. Ned, the room buzzed with whispers. Mr. Anderson has spent the past 2 weeks learning our systems from the ground up. His proposal for integrating traditional manufacturing expertise with our AI technology has impressed our development team.
No, Kai.
He's earned this position. These type of scrims are first officers and following the MACA fire too. I heard about Michael and your mother, he said. E-books we give to Michaelsers. Michael's working as a sales clerk at an electronics store. Your mother's living with her sister in Ohio. And you care. I'm exactly where I need to be. He straightened his overalls. That fashion is and for them. Learning from my daughter. I watched him head back to the production floor where his team was waiting. The mighty Richard Anderson, former CEO, now proudly working under his stupid daughter's leadership. Jane, I called out, send flowers to Mom in Ohio and Michael's store. Place a large order for office equipment with employee discounts. Feeling generous, she asked. No, I smiled, looking out at my empire, just acknowledging that sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's education. The rain had stopped, and sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the Phoenix Industries logo. Below it, in smaller letters, was our company motto, one I'd chosen specifically for this moment. Success is the best education. Miss Miller, Tom Carter from Vertex Technologies is here for the meeting, Jane announced, a hint of concern in her voice. My stomach tightened slightly. Tom, my ex-fiancé who'd chosen my family's side 3 years ago, breaking off our engagement when I was ousted from Anderson Tech. Now he was running Vertex, one of our biggest competitors. Send him in! Tom walked in, looking as polished as ever in his tailored suit. His confident smile faltered slightly when he saw my office, Dad's old office. Alex, he started, then corrected himself. Miss Miller, you're looking successful. Skip the small talk, Tom. Why are you here?